All right, so I thought I would talk about sort of where I'm at here in, let's call it mid-August of 18. Talk about sort of where I see the rest of the year wrapping up, and then sort of highlight where, we're going to take our portfolio of rentals likely in 2019. Just to, again, always continue to share with all of you. So always go through the goals. Sort of going to review in detail where I'm at, sort of tick and tie all the numbers and sort of give you at least a 5 or 6 thousand foot view of what's going on in our world. I'm going to talk about what I'd like to finish at. I'm actually going to give myself cheat and take the first 2 months of 2019. So really, what you'll see is a plan to hopefully tackle by the end of February. Talk about a few things I've learned, and then I do want to sort of highlight and ask you right now. Do you have any questions or topics that you would like me to address? If you do me a favor, probably stop watching the video right now and leave a comment below. Or if you know my email, send me an email. And obviously, my email address is always on the last slide. If you don't happen to have it, but I'd love to hear from you and sort of get a feel for what topics you would like, and you know, I will likely tackle it in an upcoming video. All right, so let's get started. So where am I at today? So we'll just start in the upper left and go down. So we have we've closed on 15 properties, means they're gone through escrow and all of that. I actually have 8 properties scheduled to close in the next 2 weeks. I have the deal of the year, which will be 6 of those. I have that little house in downtown, which is going to be awesome, that I actually locked up when I thought I had lost the deal of the year, and a man of my word, so we're going to buy that also. And then I have a long-term hold fourplex that I'm going to be buying on owner financing. So lots of activity here throughout the rest of August. We've actually closed on 5 sales. Means they've gone through and we bought a ugly duckling, or what I'm terming now slumlord property, and turned those sales either into pride of ownership, or we've made them solid rentals because the tenants that were there were the types we wanted to keep. We raised rents, they stayed, all of those things. So did a lot of good work on those first 5. I do have 4 properties of the first set that are spoken for, meaning somebody in my personal network has said, hey, I'd like to have that. We've sort of targeted a ballpark price. I'm going through the remodels. They obviously can back out if they want. We don't have a contract or anything like that. I've just they just reached out and said, I want X, and that's good enough for me. When we get to the end, we'll firm up the price, look at the ratios, and see if they want to move forward. And if they do, great. If not, it goes right in the MLS. Of the first set of properties we purchased, I'm going to be keeping 3. I mentioned one of them above that we'll be closing. Purchased a condo, and then a house on owner financing. So those things I'm going to keep. So what does that all mean? It means that we have 11 properties to sell, and I'm going to likely not be buying anything until probably half or more of these are actually sold, or worst case in escrow. With escrows, I think that will close. So we're going to quick flip the 6 properties. I've been through them all. I think they're solid rentals. I think I certainly could go in and remove tenants and 60-day notice and all of that. It's just too much work and too much of a delay. So what I'm going to do is take the power of buying in a portfolio, all right, getting the discounts that I did to value, and I'm going to be selling them at very fair prices. Again, especially considering they're already rented, already producing income. I'm going to be selling them at what I would consider fire sale prices, making a quick nickel versus holding out for a long and slow return. One of those is actually spoken for. It's actually the best property in the group. A friend of ours been looking for something like this for a while, and let her know it was there, and she has agreed to buy it at a tremendous discount to true value if I had repaired it. So really happy for her, and look forward to selling the other 5. So when you break that down, it means I have 6 what I'll call pride of ownership or landlord quality remodels in flight. I think there's going to be 4 pride of ownerships. There's D Street, which is a tremendous house in Madera. I've done a video on it where we're expanding a 3rd bedroom, creating a 4th. I think it's going to be renting for easily 11, if not 1,200. I think it's going to be done to such a level that it could be owner occupant. So it's going to be that nice. There's a new one on Mariposa that I got. Actually, the current tenant's going to be there through the end of the month, which is fine. But then we have a project there that'll be nice. We have those great 4th Street houses, which I'm really happy about. Anytime you could buy 4 little houses at a significant discount, and then go in and turn each of them into, hey, look at that, new kitchen, nice countertop, new floors, new bathrooms, and then get market rents. It's going to be a long-term hold, because again, what I have found with tenants is when they're in units, they move around more. But if they're in a house, even if it's 4 houses on one lot, they stay a lot longer. So I think that's going to be a tremendous buy for someone. And then there's that downtown one on Vermont. Can't really say that word. That a couple people are looking at, but I think it's going to be a great remodel. And investing in downtown Fresno now is a great idea. There's tens of millions of dollars coming in with new development, so big shots. That is great. And that leaves 2 that I'm going to likely just do landlord remodels in. Right, there's tenants there. No reason to kick them out again. They were below market, so we're raising rents. If tenants leave, we will go in and do remodels, but if they take the rental increase and stay, that's great. So by increasing the rental amounts, we're going to be increasing the value a little in giving a future landlord a building that's rented at market. So what this all means is I'm likely done buying for a little while, right? So I'm not going to be looking to buy anything certainly for the rest of the year. That really means for my private investors who have committed some, or at least said they'd be interested, I'm likely not going to be coming to you until probably early next year. So I'm going in, and you will always get a monthly summary from me, but I just wanted you to know that. I need to process what we have here, and these pride of ownership rentals are take quite a bit of time. So by the end of February, that should say February of 2019, this is how I sort of see it breaking down. By the end of September 18, so that would be, I don't know, let's call it 45 days from now, I'm hoping to have all 6 of the quick flips that I'm buying in the deal of the year sold, either closed to a cash buyer or at least in escrow. By September 15th, my hope is D Street Pride of Ownership remodel is done, and it's at least listed, if not sold, to someone in the network. By the end of October, I'm hoping that that one in downtown Fresno is done. Again, we're closed later this month. I'm hoping the white landlord remodel is done in October, right? That's the one where we're dealing with tenants and removal and all of that, so that's still going on, which leaves us Mariposa, which will be at the end of November. And then the 4th Street 4-house remodel is going to be one that I hope completes in November, if not early December. And then that leaves Fisher, which is a 6-unit building where we went in and raised rents, and now we're dealing with some vacancies, and again we'll repair and produce a solid building for a future landlord. And then in 2019, we're actually looking to do a couple of things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of the properties we bought in the last seller's market, and we're going to likely sell off some of the bigger apartments, because what we're looking at is if we do that, we can take that equity, which is substantial, and use it to significantly reduce our mortgage debt on the dozens of properties we purchased during the crash. This is just something that we've been meaning to do for a while. It's likely something we're going to tackle in early 2019. That's going to obviously have a very huge effect on cash flow. So when you get rid of the mortgage debt, which is a fixed cost, life gets good, frankly. The other thing I need to do is I have been running so hard to prove to myself that I could do this flipping thing, that I have been maniacal and very focused on finding deals and working very hard to do that, and then working to find private investors so that the capital keeps moving. I'm going to slow that down a little bit, maybe just look to do 1 or 2 a month, but make them better, if you know what I mean, right? We're going to go after the quality. And by quality, I mean not only the end product quality, but profit, right? I'm going to try to target and move from 25 to 30K profit per unit, and up that to 40 or even 50K, which means I'm just going to buy less, frankly. But I think that will make it far more enjoyable and less stressful when you have all these different projects and teams and all of that. But something I think I need to do a better job of is finding ways to help all of you, right? I think in my rush to get busy and to prove to myself that you don't need a day job and you don't need to go do all these things, I haven't done a great job of listening and asking for your advice or questions. So I need to find a way to interact with all of you and try to figure out what's important to you. So again, leave questions below. Help. I promise you, if you have the questions, somebody else does. So we need to figure out a way to do that. So these are some things I've learned when I started this. Right, when I retired after the few days of just sheer excitement, I needed to find a way to keep busy and keep adding value, and keep my ego from just going away. Right, it's something that I like being busy, and I like contributing, and I like helping, and I thought doing all of that would mean that finding the deal was the hardest. It's not. Actually, finding the deal is probably the easiest part of this, with the next easiest being working with my private network of friends and family, which word of mouth, solid returns, low risks. It's not hard, right? I have even today, right, I have more people willing to step up and work with me than I have deals. So actually, I guess the capital is the easiest, and then finding the deals. But when you really target creating pride of ownership rentals, it's never been done, near as I can tell, and at least in Fresno, with the sort of mom and pop kind of rentals. So it takes time, and it takes contractors, and it takes there's a fair amount of risk and time that go into that, and it's difficult to get done. So that was a lesson learned. I probably should have known, but again, in 15 years, I'd only flipped one property, and that was by accident. So interesting. I knew the 6 and 20 program that there's all kinds of videos on was going to be good, right? I did it because I knew giving that equity or partnership kicker to my friends would be good. I will say I didn't expect the annualized returns to either approach or exceed 20%, right, when you take the sort of time element. So I'm happy to see that. And it's no wonder that more and more people are coming to me, friends I've known for years, or family members, and saying, hey, put me in line. So that was interesting and very positive. The other thing I need to do, and this is one I've sort of highlighted earlier as I wrapped up the other slide, is just because I can buy a profitable project doesn't mean I have to, or even I should. Right? We were, I had been averaging for quite a while 2 to 3 projects a month, which was probably still a little much, but proving to be doable. And then I went ahead, and this month, I'm buying 8. Right? That's a lot. And a lot of capital's tied up, and just gonna sit down and go, okay, let's chew through this for a while before we do anything else. So I need to look myself in the mirror and just realize that you need to sit down for a little while and just work through what you have, no matter what's out there, not buying anything for a little while. So again, sort of highlighted here, I need to do that because I could keep buying, right? I have the capital to do that. But at some point, working with the team that I'm sort of already working with, it becomes unmanageable. Right? I keep pinging them and talking about, I don't know, 11 different properties, and it's not fair to them, right? So I could do one of two things. I could hire more people, right? I could hire my actual, and I can create a C Corp and create some employees and all of that. But I don't really have any interest in creating that kind of extra moving parts 2.5 hours away. So I need to step back and really slow down. And the nearest I can find, I don't think anyone is building pride of ownership rentals, right? There's people producing, lots of rental landlord quality projects, right? Buildings that have been solidly rented, and they're calling them turnkey. They're just basic stuff, which is fine, right? I have lots of them. Everything I own is probably that, because it's I bought them years ago. But I'm finding it interesting producing pride of ownership rentals, and look forward to doing that going forward. So in the end, just thought I'd share with you what's going on in our world. Do me a favor, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Last time I checked, we're at 111. Long way to go. And again, as I opened on the first slide, if you have questions or topics, do yourself a favor and do me a big favor and send me a note at mzuber at one rental at a time at what you want to hear about or hear me talk about. Thanks. Have a great day.